order just for the fun of it. And let's get into our winners match here between Tux and Silky. The winner is going to be moving on to the to the round of 16, where a whole bunch of really amazing players await them. It's going to be a tough round of 16 here. Who are you favoring for this matchup right here?
I would favor Tux. I think that Silky's got some really unorthodox builds, but Tux just seems really safe. He seems to specifically is really good at scouting and identifying what your opponent's doing. And I find that players that are a little lax with that are the ones that are able to lose to such unorthodox methods. But Tux is just the type of player that plays, like he does his one build that he checks for all the things, has like a checklist in his mind, and he's I think he'll be ready for anything that Silky throws at him.
All right, well, let's introduce the Red Terran player in the bottom right portion of Catalina. He is playing for Team Composite, and he is Tux.
And in the left portion of Catalina for Team All Inspiration, we have Silky. Yeah, so Catalina, not the best Zerg map, especially going against the Terran. There's so many areas that you can drop, and they're also very close spawns. Harass can happen across the map very quickly. And as a Terran player, I feel like just strategic turrets and some like well-placed units, you can defend almost anything. This is highly favored for the Terran player.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. There's a couple of nice things about it for the Zerg player. The expansion is pretty easy to defend. The nice tight ramp here. Easy to get creep out there and build a wall if you have to. The third base is also not terrible. It's not as terrible as some of these other maps anyway. Can be attacked from 2 different locations, but again, the choke is pretty... It's not super tight, but it's not super wide either, so possible to defend as well. But you're right, especially with a Reaper player like I feel that Tux is, taking advantage of this little jumping spot as well over by the possible other third base of the Zerg player is pretty beneficial for them.
Yeah, for sure. Man, you know the map pool's bad for Zerg when you start to defend Catalina in favor of Zerg.
Oh, I definitely know it's a map that Terran players like, but given like the new maps, it's it's hard to argue this one.
Yeah. So seems pretty standard for both players. Actually, yeah, playing really safe. The Zerg player doing some funny things. Why don't you talk about it, G-Dog? You know better than me.
Yeah, well, he's getting a pool and a gas here before he even gets an expansion, and Tux just totally scouted that out. So it's pretty much not going to do anything right away. You can already tell that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Tux felt safe even to just drop this command center on the low ground. He's banking up a lot of money here. He's going to make it on the high ground, which is the smart decision. But he knows that something one basey is coming. So Silky going to go ahead and drop a natural now to kind of try to adjust here. But there is the one good thing about this fast speed is it's going to shut down this early Reaper play that Tux likes. You can see he's making a second Reaper here, and I feel like he may even go up to a third Reaper. But now that he's scouted to speed, it's possible he may not actually, because speedlings, no matter how good your micro is, it's pretty hard to get away from them with Reapers.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if, usually I would say Tux is probably going to make 1, 2, or 3 Reapers. Scouting out this early speed, I feel like you should just cut your Reaper production, maybe make 1 and then go straight into pumping out Hellions.
Yeah, he did make a second one because I think that's just like in his blood based on what I've seen before. He really likes his Reapers. But he cut it there. He got the reactor going right after that. So speed has kicked in here for Silky, and he almost caught the Reaper, but it's going to... the Reaper just jumps up here, and he's already back in the main. Now, the Queens are in good position here for Silky, so the Reaper's just going to have to go home and be happy. And look at this, a third command center coming down pretty much before the second command center even finished, and that's ballsy here, especially with speed already done for Silky.
Yeah, I feel like he knows that although these Lings are going to deny the expansion, that he's invested a lot into an early army supply, and he's probably going to drone heavily afterwards. I think he's banking that either A, he can hold a Bane bust if it happens, or B, that Silky's just not going to Bane bust and he's going to expand behind this.
Yeah, he did actually catch that there was no drones mining from the gas here after Speed was researching. So he's banking everything on the fact that Silky's not going to be going back into gas, and he is going to go ahead and get, or he's going to be skipping the banelings early on here. And in fact, that's exactly what we're seeing with a Roach Warren going down. So nice decision coming out of Tux, and it's probably going to pay off for him. He's even making Marauders. It's almost like he's expecting the Roaches.
Yeah, really smart. Tux just has a really good feel, I feel like, for what's going on in the game, when to do certain things, and I think it's what separates a good player from, a really good player. It's those little tips, like seeing that gas wasn't being mined and this player's probably not going to do this, or seeing, hey, there's a bunch of speedlings, but droning is probably the eventual next step, and I can get a third base. That puts players in an advantaged position.
Yeah, exactly, and those are that's the exact thing. Or you hit the nail on the head there. That it separates a low diamond player from a high diamond player who, can beat masters and stuff like that. Which is where I would place Tux here. Little things that you'd think that your opponent is cheating almost, because it's like, how did he know that? But well, man, I was in your base and you weren't mining gas, and I figured your speedlings wouldn't do much against my wall, and I knew banelings weren't coming, so I figured Roaches was the right answer.
Yeah, right.
And it just sort of makes sense. Now, he did make a lot of Hellions if he was 100% expecting Roaches, but he definitely knows about them now, and he's going to be following up with a Cloak Banshee. And having his 3 command centers out this quickly, I mean, he's not that far behind the Zerg player in terms of worker count.
No, he's in a really good position, and this Cloak Banshee play is kind of just. It's just smart as a Terran player against everything. I feel like a Bane bust could be happening now. The Cloak Banshee basically hard counters that. Eventually, it will clean everything up. Roaches, Cloak Banshee is so mobile, it can get across the map, and Roaches are very slow, clunky. They're going to be so bruised by the time they hit the base if it's Roach play. And it's just, I love the Cloak Banshee follow-up after you get those 6 Hellions out or whatever, your Reaper play. And going into it, it's just smart. It forces the Zerg player also to do stuff. It's like automatically that Zerg player sees that they're gonna put spores down. It's like minus 300 just for building a Cloak Banshee. You don't even have to do anything with it. You can just show it to the Zerg, and immediately they're gonna throw spores down everywhere.
Oh, he actually lost that Banshee though. A little bit sloppy. I guess he was looking at something else, a little bit more important, like trying to shove these Hellions into the natural here. He did lose that Banshee. He's going to be following up with a second one though.
Kudos to Silky though for picking that Banshee up.
Yeah, for sure. But Silky needs to be thinking about a third base now. Yeah, here we go. As soon as I said it, I saw the little hologram show up here as he's going to be getting that third base. I like the safeness of getting a few Roaches out to defend your third base instead of just blindly taking it, so that your drone gets picked off by Hellions and such. So he has delayed it by quite a bit, but getting it down now is going to be pretty nice. He's getting +1/+1 as well as Roach speed, but this is a really delayed +1/+1 push here due to the fact that he went pool and gas early, to delay this build. Usually you expect the 1/1 Roach push to be hitting right around the 10-minute mark, just before it even. But here we can see the upgrades are only halfway done at the 11-minute mark. And Tuck's going to be swinging these Hellions around the top portion of the map, going to be getting a scout off on that third base. Meanwhile, in Tux's side of things, he does have +1/+1 starting up here for his engineering bay. Armory not on the map yet, so he's going to be waiting a little bit for that +2/+2. Roaches are catching these Hellions, going to be forcing them back, and speed is going to be kicking in soon, and then that's when Silky's going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive with this Roach push.
Yeah, for sure. Now, at the moment, I feel like he has a slight army supply lead. There isn't much to really defend Roaches. He's got a bunker for sure down. He's got a drop going across the map. And yeah, Silky's kind of defensive. I kind of wish he was more aggressive with these Roaches. I feel like he could get some damage done. He knows that he picked up one of those Banshees, so there's not much. I mean, there is another Banshee on the field, but so many Roaches. He's definitely going to be able to deflect these drops.
Yeah, he did spot them with the Overlord here. I was wondering what he was doing with those Roaches, because I saw the drop fly right past an Overlord, and he moved his Roaches over to the third base. But it turns out to be a really nice play, because he's picking off some Hellions over here, and he totally deflected the drop. Tux is still going to try it, though. Tux is getting every single Marine loaded off the medevac here. He caught Silky sleeping there for a little bit. This is a lot of Marines with +1/+1 and Stim already finished. He's going to be able to fight this Roach force.
Queens do coming into the play. There'll be some injects at least. Roaches from behind. I think it's going to, it'll be cleaned up.
Yeah.
But good play from Tux, also dropping the third. And now it's kind of forced Silky to like send his roaches across the map to do damage. He knows. I mean, this third's gonna go down. I think. There's really nothing to take out the Banshee.
Yeah, he's totally sacking the third base here because
look at this roach drop.
Yeah.
Overlords.
I know, this is hilarious. This is awesome. He's gonna be trying to drop into the main here, and you know what? Tux is actually absolutely not expecting this. He's moving out of the map.
Out of position. He needs tanks to stop this. This is gonna camp the production, at least take out every single one of these reactors. This is fun to watch, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, most likely
We'll
not. I think there's a reason you don't usually see this, but the tanks are siege up on the low ground. There's a lot of room up here.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's got to be so careful. He can pick off the starport. He can get some damage
but
done.
Look, these roaches are gonna get on top of these tanks now. This is really big. Oh no! What are you doing, Silky?
Oh
no! Oh man, he could have taken out every single one of those tanks.
You know what? He could have won the game right there.
Yeah,
if
he could. I shouldn't be laughing, but he could have, man.
And we have the Nidus Worm coming out there. There's a handful of roaches coming out. This is actually pretty good. Just imagine if those tanks weren't there, how much more damage this would be doing.
It would be over. The game would be over. Come on. The game still might be over. It would have been definitely over. I think he's got enough to clean up this now. He's setting everything, even Queen's coming into the pool, but not enough. Although some workers going down, Silky does have a 20 worker lead advantage. Or no, sorry.
Yeah, Tux
has the advantage.
Exactly. So even with all these workers going down, he's going to be good to go here. Picking off more Queens, the Nidus Worm's going to go down. There's some creep in here, which is annoying now. But it was an excellent idea. At first, I was like, man, this roach, like, there's a reason people don't do roach drops. Like, they don't work. And then he started making it work, and I didn't realize there was reinforcements swinging around through the natural here. Yeah. But they ran right past, like, the 3 pivotal tanks if they go down.
They, like, high-fived the tanks and were like, see you later.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And now... Yeah, Tux is on 3 bases now. Silky's just started up his third again. I don't think this game is going to go on for much longer.
Sadly, no.
Or it could. I mean, you never know, I suppose. Tux has shown us some pretty long games today, so we shall see.
Yeah, he's safe. Definitely doesn't force it. Sometimes I think that he could win the game, but he's just playing, his game, right? Going at this pace that he wants to go to, dictating the pace of the game many times, making sure that games can't end by sending drops over. So if the person does send his army across the map, they're gonna, take economic damage. I think Terran players are both Hospitaller and Tux are really good at that. And it basically is saying, hey, you want to attack me with everything? No, you can't. You got to go back home. I am gonna get my 4th base up, and I need some time.
Yeah. As a follow-up here, Silky is just getting everything. He's got a Hydra Den, he's got a Spire, he's got a Baneling Nest. He is just pretty much rounding out the tech tree here so that he can make what he thinks he needs. And against this type of army, I mean, the Ling Bane Muta is pretty popular against this Marine tank style coming out of Tux. But the thing is, it's going to take him way too long to get any sort of army out that he needs. The Roaches are going to be okay for defense. But as Tux is moving out now, there's like 100 medevacs here. It's going to be really hard for Silky to hold.
Yeah, there literally is like 100 medevacs. So much healing power.
Yeah, and also drop power too. I mean, what's to stop him from just dropping into the main with these tanks and sieging up? I actually think that's probably going to be his plan here. Or not. What do I know? I'm the Zerg player here. That's what I would be scared of.
I think, he's going to do it. He's going to actually siege a few tanks because he's safe and smart, and then he's going to go in, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting ready to do it here. Going to be dropping into the main. He's going to go in and
be like, there's nothing? There's no creep? I mean, in the vision, I bet you... Well, He might not even see any of this. I mean, that's why he cleans up all the creep in the low ground too, right? Like, Silky has no idea until these Marines go now. Nice banelings there, though.
Yeah, but there's enough stim bio here to be able to pick it all up before it even gets into.
Oh!
And the tanks as well.
Really nice from the tanks.
Yeah, and Tux has just an absolutely amazing setup here, and he's going to be able to keep Silky at home. Meanwhile, going unharassed here, you know, mining off of 3 bases. The macro is really kicking in for him. He's about to be maxed out, and Silky just sitting here at 120 supply. So there's a few minutes left in this game, possibly, but it's going to be over pretty soon here.
I mean, the army supply is double for our Terran player.
And he's actually roaming the map here looking for ninja expansions, because that's pretty much the only way that Silky could come back into this game at this point.
Yeah.
Got some stim back and forth here. The fact that the Overlords have drop actually being a bit of a detriment now to Silky as he accidentally misclicked one of the Overlords and loaded up a bunch of roaches. These tanks are doing so much damage here. Corruptors are a nice idea to push away the medevacs, but that's going to be GG, and Tux is going to take game number 1. So
yeah, that was game number 1? Oh, wow. That seemed like game number 2 to me. I don't know why. Good game.
Wait, was it game number 1 or game number 2? Map 1 Kata. Yeah, game number 2 is Overgrowth. Jesus.
Yes.
Freaking me out there.
Sorry. No, it's game number 1.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves into game number 2 here. It has been a bit of a long night. The games have been going on quite a bit here, but they've been pretty good, so happy to see.
Yeah, good games to watch. Both TVTs were pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, TB Ham, I promise you after this series I'll restart StarCraft so I can get the CSL interface going. Tux is asking for a second, so we're going to give him a second. And Tux is basically 1 win away from moving on to the round of 16.
Yeah, I mean, Silky's got some tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he almost made it work. I mean, he had won that game. He takes those tanks down. There's no DPS.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe that that so many roaches just ran right past, and all the while just getting hammered by Marines and the same tanks he was running past. It's like I wonder if you were a brain in one of those roaches' heads, what you must be thinking during that. Like being
Never mind, it's telling me to.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like being a brain that can think but can't control your actions is like, oh my god, why am I doing this? I'm running, I'm getting shot. I could totally win the game right now, but I'm just going to keep running because that's what the Overmind wants me to do. And yeah, gotta be frustrating. Silky's going to be kicking himself for that one because when he goes back and watches the VOD.
You know, it's but then he knows that he also feels really good.
Yeah, well, it's got to. I mean, he actually almost took out Tux, and I didn't think that it would even come that close. So he does have a chance here in game number 2, especially if he pulls out a really solid 2-base play, which is what I'm kind of expecting out of him because that's sort of what we've seen so far.
We're waiting on Tux, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Just getting his water.
Yep. So, I mean, in Silky's head, he's like, okay, I could have won that game. Tux isn't that much higher than me. You know, I was in it to win it. I can do this. So there's that motivation for him. And then Tux, on the other hand, I feel has to be feeling like, you know what, playing safe, doing my thing, rolling. Have to continue doing this. I haven't seen any cheese out of Tux actually, ever in my life. So yeah. I'm gonna just say that probably another standard game from him was gonna come out. I would like to see some cheese. I bet he'd come up with some diabolical stuff.
Yeah, given how awesome his micro really is. I've seen him, I wouldn't call it cheese, but opening up with like a 3 Reaper attack off of an 11 racks, 11 gas is right up his alley. And I think he was trying to do that last game, but he caught the speed early, so decided not to.
Yeah. I wonder if Silky had studied Tux and saw that he likes to do that 3 Reaper thing and was like, you know what? Fuck it, speed.
It's a good point. It really could be, for sure, because otherwise it just seems strange.
Right?
You're putting yourself behind pretty far, so it could really be or it could really be the reason why Silky went for that.
Oh, and we're getting in the game.
Yes, we are. Sorry, I should have told you that. I was just waiting for the players to be ready. Both of them are. So we are loading up Overgrowth now.
Overgrowth, a friendly map to see. I think this is like the new Daybreak of our time, of our season. It's like the standard map everyone plays, everyone likes to play. It's going to be not vetoed. And to be honest, as a Terran player, I think it's slightly Zerg favored. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but I do.
There's hits and misses to both races. Let's introduce the players and then we'll talk about that. In the bottom left corner, coming off a victory in the winners match, it is the yellow Terran player for Team Composite, Tux.
Tux is 1 win away from making it to the round of 16, and in our upper right, our underdog, we have the random player who's unfortunately got Terran. We have Silky from All Inspiration. Now, Tux's TVT, as we saw, is pretty phenomenal. I'm going to give a slight advantage to him. I'd like to see what Silky's going to do. We saw Silky play TVZ earlier.
Yep.
And he went
for like a Hellbat, a really fast Hellbat push with medevac support, and then transitioned into... Yeah, he transitioned into double starport for a lot of Banshees, and also mech play with the Thors and the Blue Flame Hellion.
Totally going to do when I play Platinum and Golds on my team. Because it
looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so the gas went down just after the barracks there. Sorry, I kind of missed that. Let's get the production tab open. That'll help. I'm guessing a Reaper here because it's really safe even if you don't know who your opponent is in terms of race. Opening up with a Reaper is always going to get you that early scout and potential to pick off a couple things if you're really good, which Tux is. So
for sure. Now I know Silky watched those Tux House Peddler games. He's going to know that he favors Marine Tank. To be honest, I'd like to see Silky go into mech. On Overgrowth, I think the map is definitely for mech. And I think that against Marine Tank, mech is pretty good. Just turtle, mech.
Yeah, those Thors absolutely tear up tanks.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to counter Thors yourself. I mean, Marines do a pretty good job, but besides that, you just kind of need more Thors. So we could see something like that coming out of Silky. I don't think we're going to see it coming out of Tux, though, who's shown an affinity for playing Bio, or at least Marine Tank. So do have that command center going down for Tux. Pretty ballsy play, to be honest. Going up against somebody who's been pretty prone for 2 base plays or anything like that. Actually, with Silky getting the second gas here, really looking like a 1 base play coming out of him, at least for now. So Tux is going to have to be on his toes here, able to push away whatever Silky wants to throw at him. And I'm interested to see what it's going to be because, again, like we've said before, Silky likes to pull out a couple random builds that may surprise his opponent. So we'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, for sure. Now we do have, I think that Banshee play is going to come out of Silky.
Yeah, most likely.
Looks like it. And this is pretty standard. I feel like there was 2 builds at early hots. There was either Banshee play or 2 Rex Reaper, and there were the things. This Banshee play going into like 1 base, double tank, push across the map, follow up, or expanding, one of the 2. We'll see which one Silky likes to do. But first up, no engineering bait going down for Tux. Also no starport. Starport going just down. So this Banshee's definitely going to, have some advantage. We're going to be looking at how good he can micro it.
Yeah, exactly. Tux actually losing a Reaper up here on the top of the ramp. Nice Marine spread coming out of Silky here as he's
really
getting
nice.
ready to...
That is so frustrating. It's one of those things you have to YOLO with your Reaper, because he can get past 2 Marines and with taking kind of minimal damage and then get the scout off. But if you're doing the going up and down to see what's over there, it's good and bad at the same time. It's good because you'll save your Reaper, you know what's going on, but then you can't go back in there because you're gonna die.
Yeah. Yep, and that's exactly what happened here. We do have a tank coming out for Tux here, and I don't think he knows.
Well,
Yeah,
Viking
sorry.
does pop out also, so that Viking's gonna be really important. He needs to bank a scan. He's got enough energy for one more. He cannot mule with that scan. If he mules, he's gonna definitely be in a bad position. I think he scanned and saw the Banshee though. Double Banshee's coming out too. This is gonna be that one base tank. First, well, it's Banshee and then tank follow up, which is it's strong. If you can get some positioning on this ridge right here, and here, with Banshee high ground vision and tanks there, it's pretty powerful. Now this Viking, needs to take out the Banshee. If he doesn't kill the Banshee, it's definitely in Silky's favor.
All right, well, here we go. Banshee coming on in here. It's going to be shoot away from these Marines. There's no scan.
Yeah, no scan yet. He needs to... Oh, get out, get out. Oh, my God.
Wow.
That was bad. This is exactly what Tux wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And Tux is just going to go into that Marine tank play with some Viking support, actually. And again, we were saying this a lot earlier in the House Peddler Tux series about how much those Vikings will really help out. And we're going to be seeing a little bit of that in this game, especially when Silky opting to go for Banshees to support here.
Now, the cool thing about this build is that Silky actually has the army advantage. But because he's on one base, didn't get that expansion, this is his window to attack, and he has to attack now. But as the time progresses and more stuff comes out, Tux is going to have the economic advantage and the military advantage. So there's a small window of time that he needs to attack. Now this turret on the high ground for Tux next to the barracks, super good. Really good positioning.
Yeah, it's going to stop that Banshee from being able to do anything too serious here. A little bit of sloppiness, though, from Tux. He actually lost his initial Viking out here just to a couple of Marines who just ran up and killed it. And then now having his expansion forced to lift off here. So this is buying Silky a nice amount of time to go ahead and get his expansion up as he tries to catch back up in terms of macro here.
I think that if I was Tux, I would actually throw down a third. He's going to be able to push this back eventually. Well, actually, as more tanks come down, this gets more and more dangerous, especially if he keeps on building Vikings. Banshee, 14 health, does go home.
Yeah, probably just going to get healed up and then come back a little bit later.
Ooh.
And Tux here is having the Vikings is going to be buying a little bit of air control. And just right there, you can see right away Silky's like, okay, I should probably leave then, now that his Viking is out of the skies. And Tux needs to lift up his natural and get that landed. And like you said, I would like to see a third base coming out of him
the
here.
pause from Tux.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag spike there. Let's let that clear up. Go, go. Okay.
Can you wait 1 second? I want to check something. Okay.
All right. Well,
or not.
Yeah. Players are gonna do what they want here, and I think it's best to let them let them play in their comfortable surroundings here.
If the lag was me, I could have fixed it. I don't think it was though.
No. All right. So lots of barracks coming down for Silky. He's also getting +1/+1, or sorry, he's getting his engineering base to get +1/+1. But I think it's a little bit. I don't know. I mean, he did buy himself quite a bit of time here. I mean, Tux is not even mining off of the natural yet. So, nicely done, actually, overall.
Really nicely done. I kind of wish that he had a mine planted, then natural. But other than that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, mines are cool. We actually haven't seen a lot of Widow mines today. So, hopefully we get a little bit more mine action.
He definitely evened up the game, knowing that he had that military might and he could lift that expansion to get his expansion up. So good job from Silky, not overstaying his welcome either. As soon as he lost air support, he zip-lined out of there, which was really important.
So we're seeing Tux here take advantage of one of the most annoying spots on this map, and Silky has not scouted it. So as soon as everything gets sieged up here with the two Vikings, Silky's going to have a hell of a time taking care of this.
I mean, it's so frustrating. He's got air support. He has to YOLO with SCVs to break this, and he's going to be behind no matter what. Scan goes down to that Banshee, takes it out.
It's all about keeping the air control here for Tux, and he does have that right now. And he's stopped the mining at the natural. And this is what this type of build does. And he's even going to be able to move these other tanks up here.
And get the tanks.
But he lost the Viking, so he's lost vision now.
Oh. But right now, third going down for Tux. He's just going to keep on denying this natural and just get ahead economically. Another tank, though, going down with the map vision from Silky. Really nice play. He's going to pick up even another one. Oh, is he going to get this tank? Yes, he is. There we go. And now he can take this army on. Kind of poor play from Tux. Tux was in a commanding position. He could have, I think, done some damage. All those Marines go down too. Now the army supply 65 to 40 in Silky's favor. Now the thing is, Silky does not have a third going down, and that's super important. Our composite player can definitely catch up really fast with the third base. I mean, 3-base economy, I think for Terran, regardless of other races, is a big deal. In TVT, having your third base, your production skyrockets. I think even more so than PvP or ZVZ. It's just super important as a Terran player in TVT to get your third base up fast.
Yeah, I can agree with that because your production is a more consistent, spread out type of thing instead of like burst, in terms of like warp-ins and a whole bunch of roaches being morphed in at once. So I can definitely agree with that. Now, Tux got in a little bit of trouble there, getting caught out on the map. Silky is moving out with a pretty scary force here. He's got 4 tanks here.
Sure. I think that he definitely, could just win the game if he sieges the natural right now.
Well, he's coming in here. Gonna try to get some damage done. The tanks are sieging up first, so for Tux. Oh, there's a lot of damage going down. The Marines are stimming right on top of the tanks.
Oh, he needs to take that tank out, and he doesn't. He could have sniped it right away, and it would have done so much damage. The thing is, tons of workers going down for Silky. Oh, but those tanks get picked up.
He picked off 24 workers with that attack, and he basically evened up the game there. And we're seeing something incredibly similar to what we saw in the House Peddler Tux series, where both players are going back and forth. And, still no third base, though, as you mentioned before, for Silky. And the longer that stays a thing, the worse it's going to get for him, because Tux does have that third base, and Silky's going to end up just running out of money.
Yep. Silky's, the longer this game goes on, the farther he's going to get behind, especially with this drop killing economic damage. With third base just about to get up, he needs to either deny this third or get the third of his own as soon as possible.
There's a drop coming down here for Tux over on the top right side, and he picked off a nice amount of SCVs, picking off 5.
Yeah, tons of SCVs, actually. Yeah, really good. Oh, only 5? But yeah, it seemed a lot more.
Yeah, it got cleaned up pretty quickly from Silky. But nicely done from Tux, keeping Silky at home now, and he's just going to happily get his third base down. I'm going to start dropping some mules over there and keep Silky back at home while he mines up a storm and ends up really pulling ahead. He's going to be dropping a second factory now.
Now Tux is posturing over to deny the third, not knowing that the third isn't even up yet. So that's really good for Tux. When he sees that, he's going to be really happy. He's probably actually even going to check that 4th position to make sure that there's not a ninja third over there.
Yeah. He does have Marines at the watchtower, so he knows about the one over here.
Oh, yeah. So he's got to be feeling pretty well right now. 2 medevacs do go to deny this third, but tanks and Marines are going to be over there. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuck's trying to cover all his bases. He's basically saying, like, okay, I know I have a lead right now, so what can kill me? And a drop is something that can definitely set him behind.
Now with this map vision, he does see that the entire army is out of position. He's going to move in with the rest of his army. A whole bunch of Marines and tanks they're definitely at least going to deny this natural and get all these medevacs. Now, 2 double medevac drops are going into the natural of Tux, along with a large force of Silky's army as well. This is almost going to be a base trade. Oh no, Tux just kills the natural. He thinks about going home, and no, he's going to go ahead. This turned out into an all-out base trade, and the thing is, there's not many tanks for Silky. Not many tanks for Tux.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Silky does have 4 tanks here just shelling away at everything. And he's moving up to the main, getting on top of the production. Same thing for Tux here over on Silky's side of the map. Buildings floating away here, barracks burning down in the sky. And to be honest, well, we look at the army count here, and it looks like it's actually pretty far in the lead here for Tux. So in an all-out fight against each other, Tux is going to have an advantage.
And he's got that third base up.
Yeah, just taking some
chilling.
mules. Yeah. Yeah, so overall, I mean, this looks a little bit close for Silky. He probably thinks that he does have a decent chance to get a lot of damage done and pull himself back into the game. But meanwhile, he's losing literally everything back at home here. And when the armies do eventually have to fight, it's going to go Tux's way.
Yeah.
Strange game, though, how this is played out here. Actually, Silky just barely saving his command center here with a mule. That was about to burn down. That was incredibly close.
He's got to be careful.
Yeah, if he's floating away. Okay, good. He's not going to let that happen. I was going to say, if he moves out of range of this mule and ends up burning down because of it, that would be absolutely terrible. And Silky building another command center over here in the main of Tux. Well, we're going to be seeing one of those games. You ever, you know, when you're on a ladder and you come into a game, and then all of a sudden, like, you think you're going to win, and the Terran player floats all his buildings away, and you're just like, okay, well, I know I'm going to win. It's just going to take me like 15 minutes to do everything.
Yeah.
This is pretty bad. Tux getting his command center caught out. He does have another one over here, though, so not too big of a deal, I guess.
2 factories just flying across the map for Tux.
Well, is there any way that...
Zone?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that Silky can actually kill those.
No. Unless his one worker builds a refinery, gets gas, builds a starport.
Which he needs to build a barracks first and then a factory.
Yeah.
All right, Silky is actually going to lose some of his units here. Oh, he lost the whole medevac. That's terrible.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and there's the GG. And Silky is going to drop down to the final match, but Tux Areno here is going to move on to the round of 16. Very nicely played. Congratulations to you.